Hello and welcome. I'm Sarah. This is Chart Your Course. And today we are reviewing Chapter 1 of A Course in Miracles, Section 1, Principles of Miracles. And we're going to be reviewing Principles 16 through 20. Principle 16. Miracles are teaching devices for demonstrating it is as blessed to give as to receive. They simultaneously increase the strength of the giver and supply strength to the receiver. This one I had to read in full because each part is so critical to understand so that we can apply it. Normally with these principles, I'll take a quote or a paraphrase to distill, I think, the main idea of each principle, but we need every word and every sentence in this one. So the point of miracles is for us to learn through them, because that is the design of all teaching devices. What are we meant to learn? You might be curious about. Well, that it is as divinely inspired an activity to give as it is a divinely inspired activity to receive. And so, depending on our worldly conditioning, we often learn that only giving is right in some arenas of life and only receiving is right in others. But here, Principle 16 illuminates that both are necessary and both are blessed. As a bonus, both parties, the giver and the receiver, enter into a stronger position as a result of any miraculous involvement. And so this really resonates with me on a personal level because I'm a big giver, and working with this principle has helped reduce my fear about allowing myself to receive. Because regardless of the situation, I know I benefit on the other side. It's not a zero sum. It's actually a situation where if anybody gives, if anybody receives, everybody wins. And so whether you're on the giving end, you're on the receiving end, it essentially equates to the same thing. And so that is Principle 16 is a big one to get, so that when we apply it in our daily lives, we can do so from a place of love and without fear. 17. They are sudden shifts into invisibility away from the bodily level. This is also a good one. They're all great, but this is a really good one too. How many times have you had a conversation with people who have said, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it? I'd be very rich right now if I had a dime for every time somebody has told me that. And then subsequently, right, that same person who says, I'll believe it when I see it, stays stuck and never believes because they never get the verification that they were seeking, or that they thought should fall in their lap, right? This changed reality for them being able to, conjure up some reality that should exist, but then they don't have to do anything and it just happens. Just kind of like this magic thought type of energy. I grew up around such people, and in my life, I actually regularly defied worldly norms and standards that they believed to be true and absolute, because I dared believe in what was spiritual prior to needing any verification in the physical realm. I've always had this inclination to believe in what other people have called like mystical or, energetic, spiritual, right? The invisible realm, the deeper realm. And so when I found the course, as a young person, I was like, this is it. This is explaining, just like this principle, this is explaining how I am already inclined to believe. And so the course breaks down via Principle 17 this theme that the order of operations is always spiritual first and then physical, because the physical realm is an extension or projection of what we've got going on internally. We learn here that miracles heal precisely because they are pulling from the invisible spiritual realm, so that they can then set right the illusions that lay atop, the spiritual realm in the physical realm on the bodily level. So if you pull from the invisible, then you can set right the physical. Principle 18. It is the maximal service you can render to another. Holding ourselves and holding others in mind as the true, loving, spiritual nature that we all share. That's what this principle is talking about. Feeling the truth of our real identity as love, that is the greatest service we can offer, because it sets our perception of ourselves and our brothers right? It does that correction in the invisible that we were just talking about, which then sets us up to treat them with honor and dignity, reflecting the love that we all are. Many times it feels like there's time and space separating us. There's the physical realm potentially, and the laws in the physical realm that separate us from our brothers. And when we tap into Principle 18 and we're reminded that miracles are a service, they're actually the maximal service that we can offer one another and ourselves, because we are one another, right? On the very, very basal level. When we get reminded of that, what happens is we collapse space, we collapse time, we collapse laws in the physical realm, and we get to be as we are and then see others as they are, which then helps us, enter back into the light and love that we always are. It's very comforting. It's very comforting to know that all we have to change is our perception. 19. Miracles make minds one in God. Miracles, therefore, reflect the laws of eternity, not of time. Since who we are is timeless, formless, limitless light, when we return back to that right perception, miracles manifest complete with all the characteristics of our shared identity, which means they break the apparent physical laws and temporal order, as was referenced in the principles 9 and 13. And this is because the laws of eternity, right, the laws that govern the invisible or spiritual realm that we discussed earlier, they have no limit. And so we can rest assured that there will be no shortage of company in our experience. There will be no shortage of miraculous occurrences generally, because they are infinite. Everything that comes from the spiritual realm creates without end and extends without limit. We are never alone because of this same principle. Miracles making minds one in God, right? Like, we're never alone because a miraculous existence, it demands the all of us. Or, as it's said here, it demands the sum of the sonship, which is basically just, it demands everybody, okay? Nobody's left out. We're all in it together. And finally, Principle 20. Miracles reawaken the awareness that the spirit, not the body, is the altar of truth. This is the recognition that leads to the healing power of the miracle. But how easy is it to forget this? I mean, we've all been there, right? Have we not? I've been there. We are constantly bombarded with content that professes the opposite of this principle. Because, there are 1,000,001 ways we can glorify the body. We can attach ourselves to this illusory realm. Then with the news, it bleeds, it leads. Like, there's so much chaos, apparent chaos and foolishness in this illusion that it makes it really easy to confuse our feelings of belonging and comfort with attachment to our bodies and with particular conditions that we feel like we need to control in the physical realm. But when we become open to considering that there's a deeper level of reality beneath the one we physically verify, we have an opportunity to live from that awareness and allow it to course correct us along our journey. And as we get course corrected, as we read this course, that we apply it, we literally bring our physical reality into alignment with righteousness, because we reawaken the awareness that the spirit is the altar of truth, not the body, not anything that's based in an illusory capacity. And so to me, that this is a perfect, cell for who wouldn't want to live from a divinely aligned place. We all are seeking this kind of higher mindedness. We're all seeking belonging. We're all seeking to feel, to be seen and feel supported and return home, right? This the saying here of Chart Your Course. We all need that. It's normal and inherent. And it's normal because it's true. Divine alignment actually delivers on that, though, on that desire that we have. We can get that desire fulfilled. This life, this spiritually aligned life, it promises and it delivers less friction, like the least friction ever. And, for me, the jury's still out on, being resilient enough and tuned in enough to not have the world be such a bother anymore, and like the worldly noise be such a distraction for me. But I have absolutely gotten better at just coming right back into the truth when I have been frustrated and I have felt out of sorts. And it gets easier over time to just have the willingness to keep coming back into the fold of what is true. Because the truth is that none of that stuff poses a threat to the deep peace that we all seek and that we all do have access to, which is comforting. I am full of gratitude that you took the time to join me today to chart your course. This episode is just one method of accomplishing the task mentioned in Chapter 5, Section 1 in A Course in Miracles: to invite people to the Holy Spirit however they recognize it. As stated there, thoughts increase by being given away. The more who believe in them, the stronger they become. What are your thoughts on today's topic? Please do share them with me on socials or by reaching out at www.chartyourcourse.faith. Until next time, let us be seen, feel supported, and return home.